My name is Aksik, aka Annika. Welcome to my channel. Super happy to see you here, whether you're new or you're a repeat visitor. Yay! And we are going to carry on with this page again. The page is called TLC, Tender Love and Care. Here it's written, and it's by R.J. Hampson, and it is created specifically for the charity marathon of February 2026, and with every donation to the World Cancer Fund, the link will be underneath my video as well. This page comes free, and it's only available then for this month. But the principles I am using here and stuff I'm doing can be used pretty much on any page. So, it doesn't have to be specifically this page. Now, let's crack on. No point getting overly wordy. So I have my chart here just to simplify my life a bit. And I am going to, now I did most of the stuff behind the window before, so I thought I might as well do it now, finish up the stuff that is behind the window. And then I'm going to kind of see what else is going to be white, because we're going to do something white here. So I have two kind of a very, very muted kind of a purplish tones, which I think I'm going to use today for snow shadows. I'm trying to make them as simplistic as possible, and I'm using the lighter one first, so it's 322, and if I feel like I want something darker, I will add, so I will use V322. First, that is rainflower purple, and if I feel that I need something extra, in some darker areas, I will also put V340 in there, which is called lavender blue. Okay. And I will also possibly drop in a tiny bit of R20, just to harmonize a little bit with that kind of a peachy color here in the sky. And I'm also taking out primrose, which is Y010. So I have rainflower purple, powder pink, R20, and Y010 primrose. And that's, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. I might add a bit of a darker one as well, but I kind of think it might be enough if I just used this very light kind of a violet tone. And I also have here a colorless blender because I'm going to work quick and rough and dirty. So I'm just going to create a bit of a snow shadows here. I'm going to bring you closer so you can see a bit better what I'm doing, so you wouldn't be miles away. A mistake I made in my last video a bit, that I forgot to take you closer, especially considering how easy it is now for me to take things a bit closer. Okay, now I'm making sure that the shadow underneath, kind of next to this thing, and here I kind of want a bit of a like white area reflection at the top. So I'm going to have, okay, I still put too much purple in it, but this paper bleeds a little, and I keep failing to take that into account. So I'm just going to create a bit of a shadowed area. Now, main thing about this one is that it doesn't look very uniform and straight line, kind of a, just kind of like straight wave, but a bit of a broken line, which will make it look a bit more natural. It's just, that's how I feel anyway. So I'm going to put the kind of a soft snow shadows down. Very little of the snow anywhere is actually in any way white. I'm sure you've heard that so many times from so many different people who are doing tutorials that you might be sick of hearing that, but yeah, it's essentially just a reflection of all the colors around it. Faint, unless it's kind of very vibrant, like, you know, here the sun, you know, it's going to be soft reflection. Okay, so it's going to be a bit of a shadow there, and I'm also going to put a bit of a, if I'm making that roof snowy, and that smoke I want to put in a bit warmer shadows, because otherwise that would look like the snow coming out of the chimney. So now I'm grabbing R20, which is powder pink, and I'm just dropping very little here and there. Just tiny bits. And I'm not going with it everywhere. I'm just adding a bit of a reflection here and there. I might want to drop in some of that V340 lavender blue just behind the window, you know, kind of where the snow shadows would be the deepest. And making sure that I'm not going too high up with it. And here as well, you know, this is going to be the darkest area for it, just behind this snow mound or whatever you call them. So just dropping it in. And once again, no uniform line. Broken lines and some dots give you a better effect. It just looks then a bit like snow texture, showing shadows. Okay, and tiny bit here. Okay, and I had already put down the red. I'm not going much into it. Now I'm taking the V322, which is Rainflower Purple again, and I'm just going over that edge of the darker marker with it and just softening it. The top edge of it, kind of, I'm going to soften it. So it wouldn't be very harsh here. Okay. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put more shadow onto the roof here as well with the V340, which is lavender blue. No. And maybe... Okay, and I am also going to drop in tiny bit of R20, which is powder pink. I'm not doing too much of it. And I'm also going to drop in, where's my primrose? Oh, I've lost it already. Melon yellow. I know, I took it out. Oh, here it is, hiding. And I am going to drop it here, tiny bit. It's a very, very light yellow. Yellows in Ohuhu are a bit lacking. So we take what we can get. As you can see yourself, even in this chart, you know, how little we, sorry, we're upside down, how little actual yellows we have. You know, there's loads of colors for different, you know, other tones, but just this column of yellows here. I find them lacking because I would often, like Pro Color has good yellows, but Ohuhu yellows, yeah, I'd want a bit wider variety. So I just, dropped in the yellow there. Because the sun is either setting or rising, I don't really know. But the fact is that it's going to throw, it's very directly kind of behind the snow here. So it's going to throw some bit of a reflection or color. We're not making it super colorful, but we are putting some color into the snow. And I'm now taking the colorless blender, because at the moment, it might be a bit even too strong to my taste, and I'm just going over it quickly, and that just lightens everything and also blends a little bit. But yeah, that a lot of people tell you not to do that. This is not what it's meant for, kind of blending everything or softening. But hey, especially in a pastel areas like this, it's absolutely possibly the easiest tool to get quick softening of the blends. So I'm using it like that as well. And oops, I didn't put the yellow. I can put yellow in there a bit later, but I'm going to soften all the purples a bit and the red. And behind the window now, I will eventually, at the end, probably take out the black lines for the snow, because it just, snow just looks better when you take the black lines out. I won't be doing a huge amount of line art disguising here. I have come to the conclusion that most of RJ's artwork doesn't really need it. His line art is, one of the main charms of his work, is genius at whimsical and dynamic line art and funny line art. So I don't feel need, at least most of the time, to cover it. Okay, so I am where now? Okay, now I have in my hands, I put the for time being away the blender, and now I'm leaving in my hands just the V322 and V340, and I am going to do anything that in my head is white. I'm going to do with these two, because I already started kind of giving white with these, so I might as well keep to it. So what is going to be light? Well, not everything with this tone of white, because, for example, I want the bedclothes and pillow and stuff to be kind of whitish as well, but I want to take more into warm tones with these. So I will, like the cap here, the doctor's hat or whatever you call it. So I'm going to put some shadows up there, and I'm flicking it upwards like this. Okay, and I'm going to put some of the V340 here as well, just kind of next to its head, and also most away from the light, so I would have a bit of a darker corner here. Now I'm just taking the colorless blender, because I don't want to overdo it here. I want to take it into fairly light, and I'm just softening it now. And once it dries, it will become lighter. At the moment, it looks, way darker than it is, because it's essentially soaked. The paper is kind of wet with alcohol, so everything will look lighter. So what else is going to be kind of like brighter white, or kind of a cooler white? I am going to do these, what do you call it that doctors use for listening to the patient's chest and stomach and whatever? I'm going to make that thing the middle of it kind of white as well. But there's going to be a bit of a curved area there. So it's going to show a bit of reflections. So I'm going to do it like this, you know, that there's raised area here and a bit of raised area near that. And I'm going to put dark a bit here in a second. And I'm going to do a similar thing here, that I'm just going to leave the top white. Maybe a little bit. And maybe put tiny bit of, now that is a V340, that is the lavender blue. And just, you know, giving it a bit of a shape. And I'm not being like super detailed about it. In fact, I actually want most of the coloring I'm doing at the moment, it's going to be kind of a quick sketchy coloring. I want some hints of, you know, what is going to be there down, but I don't want to kind of do very detailed blending here, because I know that I'm going to go on top with pencils anyway, so I'm saving myself some work, but you know, there's no point doing very elaborate marker blending if you know that you're going to do some work with pencils anyway. You know, some things are just easier to do with pencil. Okay, so I'm taking Rainflower Purple again, and this glass here, or whatever, the hospital cup, I'm going to kind of put some shadows onto this one as well, kind of give a bit of an impression that it's kind of whitish or white. So I'm going to put some in there, and I'm going to create here and here the line of white, but I'm taking it, you know, I had put already a bit of a like juice into it. I put some pink in there. Oh, I forgot to tell you that yesterday when I was finished filming, I had colored this carrot and this carrot here with the same color as the balloons here, because I was like, yeah, if I had the combination in my hand, I wanted these kind of oranges as well, so I just did that. Anyways, now I need to take the darker one, which is V340 lavender blue, and I'm going to put a bit more shadow in. That's about it. More here at the bottom, coming next to the glass, the line here, and just dropping in some shadows so it would look more like glass. Okay. Okay, I think that looks now enough what I wanted it to be. And now I'm also going to do, so I have now, I think, when I do that sheet here, I do that clip, so it's kind of like silverish, or so I'm taking the Rainflower Purple again, and this is just kind of metallic clip here, so I put some basic shadows down, and now I'm taking V340, which is lavender blue, and this is kind of a very sketchy approach. I'm not being super precise, so blending much out. It's more of an illustrative style. I'm putting them down. And possibly then I might as well do the top of that bottle. Actually, I'm gonna put some liquid into the bottle and do the shadows on top of that, because these are good for putting down kind of like neutral liquid or glass shadows. So what color liquid will I put down here? I'm taking something that would go well with that carpet. So I'm putting down a bit of dark yellow. Okay. And I'm taking also a bit of melon yellow, was it? Sorry, dark yellow was called YR1, okay? And the other color I'm taking here is YR33, which is melon yellow, which is essentially the same yellow, the lightest yellow here on the ground. So I'm just going to put some color in there. And I need something darker that would work. Let's say if I'm going to take the YR1 again, is it dark enough here? Yeah, it'll work. Or I might put some extra pencil maybe there eventually. Okay, and okay. And I'm going to put some of that underneath there as well. And now I'm taking the darker lavender blue V340 and I am going to pull the shadow of that top of the bottle. If I go a little bit closer maybe, would that work? Okay, so maybe like this. So I'm pulling the shadow of this down. I'm going to put a little bit like that here. I'm going to darken this bit here and darken the whole thing, and this one needs to be darkish. And now I'm going to kind of accentuate the colors here, because maybe this one has a silver top. Okay. Okay, and now I'm taking V322, which is rainflower purple, and I'm just, some of the little areas here I'm going to soften a little. Yeah, like that. And oops, that straw, I don't know, I need a bit of a shadow underneath it, so I'm taking YR1 and I'm going to give that straw a little bit of a shadow at the top when the bottle is throwing it, but I don't really want to get it too dark. I want it to stand out a bit. Okay, so I did that with these two purples. So let's put these ones away. For time being, I don't think I'm doing anything else with them. And now I am going to do the warm browns maybe. So let me see if I can bring you back. Okay, so warm browns, not warm browns, warm beiges or kind of grays more so. So let me see, what do I have? I need something kind of pretty neutral grayish, so maybe the RG RG030. RG030. I'm looking for it. Sorry if I'm taking forever. Okay, 030 and RG050. Should be pretty much sufficient, but I'm taking 80 as well. So I took 3 steps of that one. And RJ030, I'm going to do most of the cushion with it. So, and this should be a shadow of the ear, because the ears are kind of sticking out. So let's have shadow of the ear, and then they're going to be closer to the headboard, so they have shadow pretty close to the headboard, but there's kind of like a skip here because of the shape of the pillow, so the shadow is falling like this, and it needs to be around the head. I will darken this shadow as well. And there's going to be darker here as well, and there's going to be a bit of a shadow here as well, because the light isn't really falling there. And this bit here should be, you know, starting from here where it's falling, being blocked by the bed. And there's also going to be a bit of a shape like this here. And we're going to put down shadow for the paws. I might as well kind of use that. That's kind of a good color to use for underneath other colors as well. So I'm creating a shadow here for the colored area too. I might even, you know, darken that in some areas. And there's going to be shadow here because his leg is lifted, kind of a, you know, you can see the shape of his feet. Okay. Okay. And yeah, I think I'm going to use the same gray on some of the other animals, maybe this hamster as well. So, you know, I'm using similar colors. And I'm taking now RG 050, which is red gray 05. Where's the brush end? Okay, here we are. And now I'm going to darken the shadows here. Okay, and just making the shadow of the ear stronger at the bottom here, because that's where it is closest to the pillow. Once it gets to the top of the pillow, the ears are going to be further away from the pillow, so the shadow is going to be softer and lighter and more diffused. And I'm also going to put some shadows here, and I'm also going to put some shadows and some shadows here, some shadows here, and maybe some shadows. It needs to be pretty dark here because the light can't get to that area at all. And as I said, there are going to be colors on top of it, but you know, that's going to be eventually. And I also need to have a bit of a more shadow here. Okay, and now I'm taking back the R030. In these areas, I'm kind of almost trying to put, you know, like sheets and the bed and, you know, the cushion and everything. My plan is kind of to do most of the stuff with alcohol marker. I don't want to really go back to it too much. You know, just done. Okay, I might need to put more of a dark behind the head, so I'm taking RG050 as well. I was using so far the RG030, which is the lightest. Okay. Yeah, no. Okay, and I'm running this one. Okay, and I'm taking RG030 again, and I'm just softening the edges. And here on this image, I am not trying to be like super neat blender. I am deliberately leaving in some textures. I just think it actually looks better with this line art than, you know, trying to... Well, it depends. Some of these images kind of want a bit more elaborate blending. But these ones, yeah, I don't think they need it. Okay. I think I might need the darker one again. RG050. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Sorry. And I will forget to edit it out. I know that already because it's uncut. So unless I write down now what the time code is for finding it, this will remain undiscovered. I hope you are okay with it. Okay, and now I'm taking the RJ30. I'm kind of just creating some creases into the pillow as well. Now, and we have the bedclothes all shadowed. The sheets will stay as they are. I will put some colors into the blanket, but I have the shadows essentially already down here mostly. And I will now make that hamster also kind of the same color. So I'm taking that RG 030, sorry. And I'm just essentially putting the color down everywhere for the hamster. I'm leaving this bit on top of the nose just to have a bit of a dimension on the face, and maybe make a white area here just to give some sort of a color variation to the face. I am putting gray there as well, but I'm leaving a bit of a white area here at the top of the head, so it would look a bit like sunlight is getting there. And I'm putting the same gray into the little posies as well, and little toes. Okay. And now I'm going to go back in and just deepen the shadows. This is RG050. Just giving good shadow to the ears, putting a shadow underneath that mirror thing. And maybe a little bit here as well. Just to shape the face a little. Okay, and I'm taking RG050 again, and now I'm softening the edges of all the more shadowed areas. All right, and I might kind of put stronger shadow with the RG050 underneath it, just in case. Making those toes a bit darker as well, giving the little paws a bit of a shadow. Taking RG050 again and putting it there. And now I'm taking the Colors Blender. Where are you? Okay, here on the nose. I want to kind of just soften the line here on top of the nose. Yeah, and on top of this. And I don't think I'm even doing much afterwards with the looks of this little hamster. Maybe I'll put tiny bit in somewhere, but you know, extra shadow with pencils. But I won't do huge amount of work with it because we don't want to over detail. And I'm just making the eyebrows a bit darker, and possibly the nose here as well. Okay. Alrighty. And here we go. I think now I have, I would actually do that with that color as well. So I'm taking now RG080, which is the darkest of these red grays. And I'm just creating shadow here, and I'm also creating kind of shadow here inside the picture frame. So when the light is coming from there, this frame would throw a bit of a shadow here. Maybe it wouldn't be as sharp, but hey, I have it in my hand. RG050, and I just went a bit overboard. So I'm softening the edge of this blended area here, or the shadow area. And now I'm taking RG030, and I'm just going to go over the whole picture frame, and I don't think we need much after that done to that. I might add bit of more bright orange, dark orange to this carrot, so it would have a bit more contrast. But other than that, that's pretty much done. And oh, the smoke. Okay, because I wanted that kind of a warmish green as well, gray as well. So I'm taking RG050 to put in a bit of a smoke texture or shadows. Just bits and pieces like this. Okay, and I'm taking RG030. Here we go. And I'm just leaving that as is for time being. And now we need to move on to the rabbit. Now for rabbit, I thought I have two colors. I don't know how that's going to work for me, but let's see. It's YG040 and YG080. They are yellow gray 04 and yellow gray 08. Sadly, there's only these two in that line. I would prefer to have, kind of more colors in that line. It's a really, really nice kind of a warm French gray type of a color. But sadly, it only has two colors. So, oh, if you hear me, expand that line. So I'm essentially using that YG040 as a base for the bunny. And for the bunny, I might, eventually, when I get to it, I might also add some shading with a pencil. Now, I haven't decided. It all depends how it will come out here. Oops, I didn't really want to go over the nose. I wanted to put some pink in there, but hey, it's already happened. And okay, and we have the paws as well. And now I'm taking YG080. So I have the... So I'm just putting basic shadows in. So obviously when the light is coming from that way, these areas are going to be... And I'm just going to build the shadows slightly. Okay, so... Okay. And I'm also going to see that's pretty big jump between these two colors, which is slightly problematic. Could use another color here, but hey, can't have everything. All right, underneath there as well. Okay. A bit here under the nose. And I kind of want a little bit, I don't know how it's going to come out. Might be too dark for it. Well, I might have to save it with the pencils, because I ideally would have just liked to create a little dip there above the nose. But that color might have been a bit too dark for it. I should have possibly done it just with the second layer of YG040. And now I'm going over the sharper areas of that YG080 with YG040, because these are the two only ones I have that really work well. And I don't, I could probably kind of play with values with some other ones as well in there, kind of a similar, do something. I could grab something from this line here, which is also kind of in this, some of them are in this French gray territory, but there's really nothing that would kind of fit very well between these. Maybe that one, E210. Possibly, but it would go too, it's a bit too yellow for my taste, or too brown. I didn't want it to be brown. Okay, so now I'm looking for R20, which is the powder pink, and I would like to put some color into Bunny's cheeks. I'm also going to drop some color here above the nose and into the nose. You know, if I will add a bit of pencil to these bits, so this is not final, but I'm just doing the shape mostly with them so I have less work. So I'm taking YG080 again, and I'm darkening some bits on the ears and such, and here. And now, because the paper is well saturated with the color, it essentially kind of starts self-blending. So I need to soften this area as well here, because it was a bit too patchy, and this one too. Just going over everything. Yeah. Yeah, I will have to come back with the pencils and fix it slightly, but hey, I've seen worse. Okay, and now I'm giving shape to the paws as well. I'm not going overboard here. I'm making this bit quite dark because it's totally in shadow. I'm going to give this bit a little bit of lighter tone, and I'm making like typical shadows like this, and I'm making this bit also dark here. Here we go. And I might go over with the YG040 just to kind of soften, but I'm not being super elaborate about it. Now the eyes, I kind of got the marker into them, but that's fine. I can bring the color back here, you know, put some white into it eventually, and it'll all be fine. So that bunny now is pretty much the base, is what I want it to be. I will want to add a little bit more pinks and a bit, you know, variations with the pencils, but most of the shading is done. I need to also clean, you know, that area up, because that's not the picture I had in my head, but you know. Yeah, just putting it. I just want a bit of a dip in the face so it wouldn't be an egg, but possibly I've messed it up a bit, but we'll see. I might be able to save it. And this one wants a darker tone here. Okay, so sorry, now I'm putting a little bit of a shadow here underneath the mouth as well, just to give everything a bit of more shape. Now the same colors I'm using here, I will also use in the white bits for the fox, but I'm using this YG080 very sparingly. So I'm going to put, you know, these are the white areas of the fox, and I don't want them to be the same white or kind of a cool white as the cap. So I'm keeping them kind of very warm yellowish white. So I'm putting some color here, just, you know, not going overboard here. And I'm trying to be pretty sparing with it, but you know, have some in. Okay, this one is going to be different color, and I'm also going to put it there. What else is white on the fox? Oh, the tail, tip of the tail is going to be white as well. So I'm just pulling a couple of like hairs in, not doing it very evenly. I'm, you know, kind of leaving some texture, and here as well, kind of tiny texture. It's just pulling in a little bit of texture and going over quickly, which that was now YG080, the darker one, and once again I'm going quickly over with YG040, and here I'm going to put tiny bit of kind of more shadows in some areas as well. So it's YG080, It's just darkening a couple of bits. Like this behind the nose, where the shadows are going to be. No, and I don't think I'm even going to soften it much. No. Is there anything else that is kind of like... I might make that little cat in similar colors as well, but add something, like something warmer, yellowish. I'll find it from here. But I might... I think I have it all done. I don't need to soften it. Okay, IG040. I'm going to just soften it. And now I have the textures in place, and I don't think I am going to be doing much kind of disguising there anymore, or kind of, changing. Even that with pencils, I wouldn't do much of a pencil work there. Okay, so we're taking this kitty here, and I still have this YG080 and YG040, but I want something to add. So I wanted to lean maybe Y11. So do I have it out maybe? Y11. No, I don't. So I might add something a bit more yellow to it, so it would be slightly different. So I've added this here. So here we go. These are the three colors that I'm going to use. Not that I know exactly what it's going to look like. This is now typical. Like, I don't really try blends out. I just look at them here and roughly decide what I'm going to do. Okay, so the cat is... I'm still going in first with the YG040. And just, kind of do the initial idea for myself where I'm putting the shadows and stuff. This body is going to be totally shadowed. And face as well, because it's peeking out from inside of the suitcase. Maybe leave a bit of a white area like this on top of the nose. That's just for interest. And here as well. And I can always come back here and change things. Okay, now I'm taking the darker gray, so that's YG080. I'm putting the stronger shadows down, so we need that to be that tail inside the ears. And also the shadows from here. Also the little body of the kitten, because that's going to be totally in shadow. Maybe a little bit on top showing. And a bit of a shadow here for the paws. And then the face needs to have a tiny bit of a shadow, especially here when it's peeking out from inside of the suitcase. And maybe a tiny shadow like this on top of the eyes as well. Just have fun this. And now I'm taking the Y11, which is the warmer color, and I am softening the YG080 with that color, and also adding it to some areas, kind of just to warm things up a bit and possibly even slightly brighten. It's a muted sort of a ochreish yellow, so it's not going to give super vibrant yellow cat, but it will change the tone enough so it wouldn't look exactly the same like the bunny and the fox's hair there. Okay, and now I'm taking YG040 again, and I'm just going to do the quick soften at the top. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Now the nose doesn't look really great with the white bit. I'm just going to take it all and the paws, top of the paws as well. And I might add a bit of a pencil to it afterwards. It might totally happen when I make up my mind, but at the moment I just don't know. I don't know. And now the next thing we're going to do, actually I might do the label of this bottle with YG040. Even if I want to add pencil to it later, but I probably won't. Or, you know, I might even add YG080 a little bit here at the bottom, so it already has a bit of a shadowing down. I don't really want to work these bottles or, you know, bits and pieces too much with pencils. I want most of kind of the idea down already with alcohol markers, and maybe add a couple of lines here and there to just, you know, deepen some shadows. Okay, so now we have the fox's fur, and I took out for it YR180, YR4, and YR2. So these are lipstick orange, salmon pink, and marigold. And I am going to take the salmon pink first. Actually, I need something yellowish as well. Yeah, I had marigold, the primrose. Yeah, I'm going to pull the primrose into the ears and kind of top of the fox's face like this, and onto the thumb here, just to have it in some places, and also on top of the tail, because that might get some sun as well. Okay, and now I am going to take the YR4, and I'm working now from lighter to, and I'm trying actually in this instance not to go too much into the eyebrows. I actually trying to preserve the eyebrows here a little bit. So I'm just putting that down as a full base here as well. Let's not color over the eyebrows. Well, it never works if I'm sure that I don't want to do it. I'm almost 100% guaranteed to somehow still manage to do it. Okay, so I probably will need gel pen here, because I do want a bit of a like yellowish glint on those poses, but it's going to be awkward to do with the marker, so I'm not going to be bothered. And and also it needs to have like this, that's its leg, and something on the tail as well. I went over the yellow, yeah, yellow. Okay, so now I'm going to put down, that is YR2, which is called marigold. So just now establishing more so color areas than trying to make it look neat and tidy. We'll get there eventually. And as I said, I'm not trying this time to do super soft blending. That's not what I'm going for. Okay, and this one. And this one. Okay, and now I'm taking YR180, and this gives me, it's beautiful. It's called lipstick orange, but it really gives this beautiful kind of a fox fur orange, especially on top of these colors. So I'm creating the shadow here underneath the cap, behind the cap here, on the bottom of the ear, behind the cap here, and underneath the fingers here, inside the fingers, bottom of the hand, shadow of the leg, and then I need to kind of, I want to put it kind of more to the bottom of the tail. I don't want it to go totally to the top, but I'm putting it down slightly textured. And now I'm taking the marigold again, which is YR2, and I'm going over, yeah, it's kind of starting to bleed into eyebrows. That much about me kind of sparing them. Oh well, it is what it is. Okay, the marigold. Yeah, and now I'm taking YR4, just softening this area there, and the light is falling onto the fox. The fox is a bit darker, so the effect of the light falling onto its face is going to be more pronounced. Okay, that's about it. And now we need to take the colors from yesterday. I had some really cute reds here, so I'm taking YR090 and I'm now establishing squares. So I'm choosing, so they would run logically. Okay. Alrighty, and there's going to be one here, and this one is going to be also orange square. And this one is going to be orange square, and this one is going to be orange square, and this one is going to be orange square. Okay. All right, and now I'm taking the slightly darker version, which is R070, and I'm adding a bit of an extra kind of texture and shading for that color here, so it wouldn't be so bland, and I would need to work less with pencils. Just have some stuff already done down here. And here, on the other side of the bed, I just leave them. And here, because I want it to look like a bit woolen or textured blanket, I'm not going to go and blend everything into super smooth, or try to blend everything into super smooth. If there's tiny bit of texture left there, I am happy to leave it there. Okay, and now I'm taking, I want the other squares to be kind of creamy yellow, so it's going to be melon yellow, won't it? But I want something lighter as well. Do I have it out here? Yeah, there's no like nice soft pale yellows, so I have this YR33, which is already kind of, you know, in the ochre region, but I want maybe Y1. Yeah, let's see if that is going to work for me. Y1, it didn't look too chemical. Sorry, I'm taking the other tip. Okay, so yeah, that's all right. So I'm filling the empty squares with that. So we're gonna have a nice bright and cheerful hospital blanket. And here, so I don't forget, and here. And now I'm taking the YR33 brush, would work better. And YR33 is melon yellow. And the colors changed as well, you know, based on whatever is underneath them. You know, for example, here on the floor I also used quite a bit of melon yellow, but because here I have the grays underneath, it does look like a different color. Okay. All right, and we know, whoops, I forgot this square here. See, that's happening to me all the time. And dot, 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 dot. And now I am going to find something red. Okay, something nice and red. So maybe R150 here, and add to it maybe R2. Let's see if they're going to work together. I want like nice strong red. So this is R2, this is R150. Let's see which one is. Okay, so I will probably need to add a bit of more shading with pencils to this cross, because I do want it to be. Okay, and then R2 is supposed to be darker. Okay. Alrighty, that works perfectly. I'm going to do the cross here too. And just, carrying, no, of course these crosses need to be red, but I want that red, someplace else on the page as well, so it wouldn't just be, one place that has the red. So I'm giving it a good bit of a dark. And now I'm taking that dark red and, those stripes here. I'm going to do them fairly carefully with the alcohol marker. Oops, I went too far with it. Okay, we'll live. I'm putting it into the kind of darker areas. But I also went with it too far. I kind of forgot what I was trying to do. Okay, and okay. And now I'm taking the lighter red, which is R150. It's not very light red, but it's still lighter red. And I'm taking it upwards, where the sun shines onto the blanket a bit more. So. And I'm doing those vertical lines too. I'm trying to be careful, but yeah, I'm getting a bit sloppy here. That's fine, as I said. All right, and now we have the bed pretty much done. So now I need to do this little, whatever it is, medical case, I presume. Now, before I do that, I am taking the YG040, and there's like bandages on the floor here and plasters. I'm just putting that color on top of them. I might not even put much of a shadow with pencils on these. I'll just, might leave them like this. And there's another bandage here coming out of the medical case, so I'm gonna leave that as well. I might actually give it some shading as a, yeah, like this, this way it looks legit. Now I have the color of this case. What could it be? Oh, okay, I might go for Y7. Y7. Do I have Y7 here? Yeah, Y7 and a Y250. 250. Okay, found them. Y7 and Y250. I am going to put some color into that case. Once again, here I'm going in pretty bold with the dark because I just want the inside of this case to be pretty dark. There's no light shining into it. I might even, eventually have to put some extra darkness with the pencils in there because that needs to be dark. Like I might need to put tiny bit inside here. Well, definitely will, because it's just quicker and easier to create quick dimension with pencils that way. Okay, so, and I'm going to put some color here as well. I was trying to leave a bit of a sliver of white at the top, but hit bled again. And this one needs to be dark inside the suitcase here too, and this one. And here I'm going to, maybe on the corners, I'm leaving a bit of a white area to see if I can put something lighter into them. I'll definitely need some pencils. Here as well, I'm going to leave a bit of a white there. Okay. But here it's definitely going to be dark. And this one I'm going to leave a sliver of white on top. And here also I'm going to leave some white at the top. Okay. Just a little bit. Just at the moment, this just kind of give it this some sort of a shape. And now I'm taking the Y250 and let's see how this is working for me. At the moment it looks almost the same, but it is a little bit lighter, trust me. It's a fair bit lighter actually. And I'm just taking it into the corners, and once it dries, there is a difference in color. I would like to get that inside even darker, so Y7 again, I'm going to go over twice now, that area here. So I would need to work with pencils less. It's kind of a difficult color as well, it can be anyway. And I need to brighten the cat a little bit with more kind of a yellower pencils, and I'll do that. But at the moment I'm just putting some darkness here. And here also. Yeah. Now, I'm leaving that as is, so it's Y250 and Y7, go back, otherwise things are getting very confusing here. And now I'm going to do almost the last things, are the little costumes the fox and the hamster have, and I pulled out these colors. They are basically in the same line. They are B220, B260, B270 and B290, and this is the color. They're kind of a more muted blues, so I think they would work better in here. Now I'm not going to do them identical because yeah, I just prefer to kind of give them a bit of a, differentiate them from each other a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to now just take the darkest one, which is B290, and at the moment I'm just going to give it shadows. So I'm putting shadow here under the arm, so under the shrubs or whatever it is, the jacket thing. And I am also going to put that into the sleeve like this, taking it like this up here as well, and a little bit here. The shoulder is going to be nice and dark up to here, and let's put a bit of darkness underneath the collar as well. And once again, this is B290. And also underneath the chin, there needs to be darkness. And we need to put some shadows behind that little watch as well. And behind the that's actually the row, it needs to be here. Yeah, the buttons are that way. And a bit underneath the buttons. And we're going to put some really dark here, and here, and here. Okay. And that's about it for time being. Now I'm taking the next darkest, that is B270, and I am going over the line with that one, just softening essentially the lines. And for the kind of a bottom, the little frilly bit here or whatever, I'm just going to make it pretty much all the same color. And it's just kind of a softening out the darkest shadows. Because I want that jacket to be pretty dark in her case. I kind of think it's her wearing a skirt, although that might not necessarily be an indicator, but nah, let's go with she. Make my life a bit easier, lazy as I am. Okay. Yeah, here I don't really want to put strong highlights or anything light here because there's no light shining onto the fox. Okay. Okay. All right, and now, sorry, I am grabbing the B260. And I'm trying to leave a little sliver of a white at the edges, but yeah, this marker tends to spread on this paper a bit, quite aggressive, in a bit aggressive way, sorry. So I might not be able to do that. But the color is what I kind of wanted. Now I'm taking the darker marker, B290, and while blending, I lost, well, that's what usually happens when you blend. You lose quite a bit of the darkness of the, initial marker. So here I'm just going back and putting some of the more intense darks back in, and because the paper is now nice and wet, it pretty much self-blends. Yeah. Here and here as well. Just putting it down here. Is there any place else I need to put it? Okay. And here too. And here too. Yeah. Okay, and now I'm taking the next darkest, which is Y270, and just adding a bit of that as well. Just kind of intensifying. I'm adding layers of colors because I felt that the color was not as intense as I wanted. Now I'm taking the lightest of the colors, which is B220, and those edges that I left white, I'm just pulling it in there. And because it's such a narrow area, it pretty much blends very quickly and very easily into these bits. The buttons I'll probably do with something three-dimensional, so that's going to be fine. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I'm going to leave the fox. And I am now going to take that hamster guy. Okay, and I'm taking at the moment B260, and I'm creating the same shadows as I did. I just decided to make his outfit or uniform a bit lighter. So no, actually I need to, oops, I went through the button as well. That's fine. Now I'm taking B270, I'm adding it some extra here and there, just so I would have more, a bit of a more intense shadows. Okay, and now I'm taking B220, and once again I'm now kind of just going into the areas I didn't put anything before. I'm gonna left them white and just putting some color into them. And now we have, they kind of match but they're not identical, the costumes or whatever. So I am going to drop some R150 into the bunny's nose and into the kitten's nose. It might need some extra color. We'll see about that. And I will also put something in this one. So let's maybe get the YG 040 again, so that's yellow gray. I'm just giving that paper, the chart, that bunny's bed, a bit color. So I'm taking now YG 080 and just pulling up a couple of strokes like this. That's it, you know, I'm not super blending there or anything. Now this one is going to be golden, but that's going to be a pain with alcohol markers. That's not going to work out well for us, trust me. So I'm just going to put in pastel yellow, and I can, you know, create dimension in these later on with pencils. That's much easier. And now all I need is to do her nose. I need something dark. Neutral gray 09. Well, something really dark. Okay, neutral gray 09. And I'm just going to put some dark color into it and leaving a highlight. Now, and I'm going to also put in the eyes already with the dark marker, because it's going to be easier. I will want to put in my own little highlight white dots anyway, so I might as well make them dark. At the moment they are too small to actually put much of a color in there, so it would matter. So I'm just going to leave it as is. So we're getting pretty darn close. I think, okay, I forgot to put some color here. I also need to find green and something yellow for underneath that. But, oh, and here I have this, I think it's supposed to be beehive here at the top. Something darkish, YR1, just create some bit of a shadow here, so there wouldn't be much of a coloring to do here. And leave some highlights on the sides. Yeah, and that's a bit better. Now I have all the base down, and next time we're just going to do pencil, and hopefully we'll get it done. If we don't, after that, maybe there's a tiny bit of detailing here and there we need to do as well. But yeah, I'd say huge amount, you know, big amount of the work is now done.